We have an update on Conor McGregor's status for UFC 303, and it does not sound very good. Ariel Helwani tweeting this out not that long ago, saying around this time last week, the anxiety surrounding the 303 main event seemed to start to dissipate. By Wednesday, no more feelers about replacements were being sent out. All systems seemed to be a go. Again, later in the week, Chandler did an interview with The Pivot about it being all good, and Saturday, UFC was promoting it again on the ABC Fight Night telecast. There was a scare about the fight being off, and the scare appeared to be no more. But since this morning, and by this morning, it is June 11th, Tuesday, multiple sources are now saying feelers are being sent out again for June 29th for a replacement and or new fights. In short, there seems to be pessimism all over again regarding the status of the 303 main event. Actually, even more pessimism, it seems, than on Monday last week after the presser was canceled at the last minute. Is this insurance, due diligence, emergency replacement mode? Remains to be seen. It's all developing again, but it does appear as though we're out of the woods. We are out of the woods either way just yet. It doesn't appear that we're out of the woods. I got to read better here. More to come, and hopefully a definitive answer one way or another. I would say so. This is a crazy roller coaster. I mean, we're talking about one of the biggest cards of the year, UFC 303. This card basically relies on McGregor Chandler, right? Like if you're looking at this, and this is something we talked about in another video, you take away this fight, this is not a good pay-per-view. It just isn't. Nothing against Jamal Hill and Carlos Ulberg. Ian Gary and Paige, that's not a good pay-per-view for the fans. And it is June 11th. We're, we're about halfway we only got like maybe 2 weeks left before, UFC 303 is taking place. If my math's correct, maybe it's not. Yeah, that's not good. They got to figure this out. And I think fans deserve to know what's going on because like I mentioned in the last video, there is the ability to get a refund on tickets is my understanding if the main event has changed. What if fans, like if they book travel, it's much harder to cancel travel plans closer to the date than it is earlier. So I think the UFC's got to make a decision here. They got to figure this out. Obviously devastating news. Everyone just wants to see McGregor back. I know there's some people who don't, but listen, there is no more popular fighter in the UFC than Conor McGregor. When he is on cards, it helps everyone. It helps the viewership. It helps the other fighters on the card. If he is not on this card, this is going to be a huge blow for the UFC. And I said it time and time again. I think the UFC, if they weren't so hell-bent on doing so many events, there might be more flexibility as far as putting a different main event in here. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what replacements they're looking at. There was some talk about maybe Holloway and the BMF belt, defend that against Chandler or some other opponent. I don't know. But listen, I think for one of the biggest cards of the year, trying to get something short notice for the main event is just going to be a terrible, terrible thing to happen. So again, I know people like to rag on Ariel, but there's no one more connected in the sport right now as far as breaking news. He is very much on the pulse of what's going on. I know last week he was optimistic, but things can change. People saying that he was making things up. Listen, stuff happens all the time. Maybe there's other things that are going on. I don't know, but this is bad news, especially as someone like myself who's going to go cover the card. You do rely on, McGregor being there and kind of amping up the card a little bit. We'll see what the UFC does, but obviously not very good news. I will try and update you guys on YouTube as much as I can because not everyone's on X or seeing this type of news, but not good right now for McGregor Chandler at UFC 303. Let's hope that changes. Let's hope it's A-okay, but like I said, right now, per Ariel Helwani, where's the exact words? There seems to be pessimism all over again, actually more pessimism. That's not good news. So I'm going to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think the replacement could be? Do you think the fight's off? Let me know. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at Lynch on Sports. Again, I will try and update this when we get some more news. But for now, just a little tidbit about pessimism on this fight. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.